Russia says it will back the 2015 Iranian nuclear deal, which it says is good for regional stability and solving nuclear weapons issues. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made the comments at a meeting with his Iranian counterpart, Mohammad Javad Zarif, in Moscow. It comes ahead of a Brussels meeting in the coming hours in which European powers are expected to reaffirm their support for the agreement. U.S. President Donald Trump rejected it in October. On Friday, he must decide whether to reimpose oil sanctions against Iran that were lifted under the accord. Neve Barker reports.
As the deadline for re-endorsing the Iran nuclear deal approaches, the world's once again second-guessing Donald Trump's next move.
Iran is taking over the Middle East.
The US president's repeatedly threatened to tear up the agreement, but so far he's reluctantly kept it alive. It was a landmark moment in international diplomacy. 7 countries signed the agreement at a time of heightened tensions across the region. Some of Iran's neighbours have been talking about a possible military strike against the country. Iran's made no secret of its arsenal of Russian-made ballistic missiles. Israel and Washington's Middle Eastern allies feared it also had an active nuclear weapons program. Iran insisted its nuclear agenda was purely civilian, but under the deal it agreed to end research in return for the partial lifting of sanctions, allowing it to access global financial markets and, crucially, sell its oil. As part of America's commitment to the deal, Congress requires the US president to confirm every 90 days that Iran's upholding its part of the agreement. Trump's recertified the deal several times so far, but things could be about to change. Last October, he announced a new Iran policy.
Iran is not living up to the spirit of the deal. I am announcing a new strategy to address the full range of Iran's destructive actions.
It's a strategy many Iranians believe is motivated simply by Trump's growing support for Israel.
I think under Trump, US and Israeli interests are closely aligned. And I think Trump's main problem with Iran is that it clashes with Israel, for that simple reason. So for that reason, I would also add that should Iran and Israel's relationship improve, which is not on the horizon anytime soon, you would see major changes in the Iran-US relationship as well.
Trump's refusing to recertify the deal until Congress amends it. He's called for sanctions on Iran's Revolutionary Guard, which he described as a corrupt personal terror force of Iran's leader. He also wants to extend time limits on the country's nuclear research and curtail its missile program. But as Congress didn't draw up the deal, it's not down to them to change it. Any alterations it makes with the president would be in breach of the international agreement. It leaves Donald Trump with 2 choices: recertify the deal and keep it alive, reject the deal, violate the agreement, and almost inevitably trigger an international crisis. Neve Barker, Al Jazeera.